And first up is public comment. Does anyone have any public comment? Please state your name and municipality.
Sure. Dawn Gerber, Bedminster Township. And my comment is that I sent an email to the board about 2.5 weeks ago requesting information locating a policy. My question may not have been a simple one, but I think it deserves an answer. My question to you is there a policy that defines and supports the rights of transgender students, including the use of the bathrooms and the locker rooms, that would match their gender identity? So and my question is, do we have such a policy? And hopefully that's a conversation that should be taking place in policy meeting. Thank you.
That is not something we have a policy on.
That's not.
So it's not something that I can guide you to. Did you want to add to that? Sure. Currently, we do not have a policy regarding that specifically, but we do follow Title IX, which is required. Any other comments? Okay. First item on the agenda is reviewing the policy for the second reading, policy number 247, hazing. Did you have any questions that you were answering on this one first? So there was a series of questions regarding the listing of names in 3 different sections of this policy. The 3 different sections are responsibility to report to, under guidelines, the complaint procedures, as well as consequences for violation. So there was a question as to why are the names listed differently in each one. So it's recommended that we just list the names the same in each one, so it's not confusing. So for example, it will be listed coaches, sponsors, volunteers, employees, the same under each, so it wasn't just confusing under each one. Each section, though, has some additional people listed. So under the complaint procedures, we do have the additional names listed as any other person. So any person can file a complaint. So they can file a complaint directly to the principal. It doesn't have to be an employee. It doesn't have to be a coach, sponsor, or volunteer. In addition to that, under the consequence section, we do not have parents or any other person listed. For example, if someone from the community that was not an employee filed a complaint or did not file a complaint, we do not as a district have the right to issue consequence. So we can only issue a consequence to somebody that's specifically related to the district by being a coach, a volunteer, a sponsor, or an employee. So we could end their ability to coach, we could end their employment, etc. as a district, but we could not do anything specifically to a parent that opted not to file a complaint. So that was addressing that specific question. In addition, there was a question raised as to, under the filing of the complaint, would we require them to put that in writing? So the answer to that that we were provided was we cannot require someone to put something in writing to file a complaint. They have the right to call the principal and make the complaint and still be anonymous. So we can't require and not accept that complaint and not investigate if they didn't put it in writing. So they were the answers that were requested, or the questions that were requested with answers. Did anyone else have any questions on this one? So is everyone on board for moving this forward? Okay.
Thank you for finding all those answers and making the policy more similar throughout and clear throughout. Thank you.
Absolutely. And the second item is the review of the policy for second reading, policy number 810.2, transportation, video, audio recording. Did you have anything you wanted to add to this one? Did anyone else have any questions? Is everyone okay with moving this one forward? Okay. Item 3, review of policy number 827 for the second reading, conflict of interest.
you have anything you want to add to this one?
You had responded to a previous question that came into the board, but just to clarify, there was a question as to what we were removing or adding under what the board, as a school board member, would be required to do. And unfortunately, it was confusing when it was edited. We would just remove the period within that sentence, but we actually added, based on the recommendation from PSBA, was that the school board member would need to put something in writing, as written statement, to be attached to the board minutes. So we were not reducing anything within this policy, adding an actual line.
That was an email that someone had sent to us asking us that question that she's referring to. They asked why we were deleting that extra requirement. And what she's explaining is that we weren't deleting that. We were just, if you looked in the side, they were confused because it said deleted, and there was a period in there, but that line was highlighted, so the person thought that that whole thing was being deleted, but really the whole thing was being added in just that period. So that's what she was clarifying. Did anyone else have any questions for this one? Is everyone okay with moving this one forward? Okay. Are there any other comments? Public comment? Go ahead.
Don Ferber, Bedminster again. Just wanted to clarify. You say there are guidelines that you must follow as a district regarding state and federal. However, there are no specific worded policies in federal or state guidelines at this time that protect the specific rights of transgender students. That many of our local neighbors in school districts are writing specific district policy addressing this issue. This is an issue that needs to be dealt with on a local level, and then a local policy would be the best way to address the issue. Because again, the state and the federal government are both not addressing this specific issue and helping this specific class of children. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Our solicitor interprets the legality behind all of this and gives the recommendations and works with the administration on, how to handle all of those concerns. So, that's the current status of that. But thank you for your question.
That's understandable, again, but I do believe the community has the right to voice their opinion and to express where they feel policy needs to be to best protect our children.
You're correct, and thank you for doing that. I appreciate it. This meeting is adjourned.